Live from clickorlando.com and WKMG, we're getting results in your neighborhood. Now it's 6:30.
This is News 6 at 6:30. Thank you for joining us here live on News 6 Plus. I'm Ginger Gadsden.
Glad to have you with us today. I'm Matt Austin. We all remember that now viral body cam video from the night a Brevard County teacher is accused of attending an out-of-control party with teens.
Today, that teacher, Carly Anderson, was back in court trying to get her case dismissed. News 6's Mark Lehman was in the courtroom and has details about what happened.
The defense looking to get the case thrown out against this Brevard County teacher before it heads to trial. The judge, however, ultimately sided with the state, meaning at this point the trial moves forward.
We are here today on State vs. Carly Anderson.
Brevard County teacher Carly Anderson appearing before a judge where her attorney focused on Cocoa Beach police body camera video recorded in January. Anderson was arrested in connection with an out-of-control teen house party and charged with misdemeanor disorderly conduct and intoxication. Her defense arguing the video doesn't support those charges, and the state countered with their own motion to strike, saying the defense failed to show there are no facts in dispute. The judge agreed.
The court does find that the motion to dismiss filed by the defense is legally insufficient.
Anderson is one of two educators facing charges in connection to the party police say involved over 100 teens. According to investigators, it happened at the home of now former Roosevelt Elementary School principal Elizabeth Hill Brodigan. She's been charged with felony child neglect and contributing to the delinquency of a minor. Anderson, meanwhile, faces up to 60 days in jail on each of her misdemeanor charges. Today, the state said a plea offer remains on the table for Anderson, and if she chooses to accept, she must do so by Friday afternoon. So as it stands now, the defense could file another motion to dismiss or decide to take the state up on their plea offer. Depending on the developments, the trial is set to begin on Monday with jury selection. In Brevard County, Mark Lehman, News 6.
Well, today, attorneys for the family of one of the two workers killed in the FSU shooting called for more transparency from investigators. 45-year-old Taru Chaba and 57-year-old Robert Morales died in that shooting inside the student union almost 2 weeks ago.
Now, people all over the country are meeting in Central Florida to discuss ways to enhance student safety. News 6's Stephanie Rodriguez shows us what they're hoping to accomplish.
This conference is bringing together law enforcement, educators, and policymakers to talk about how to keep schools safe. Organizers tell me it's not just a gathering, but a call to action. Leaders from all over are joining forces to try to stop school violence.
You know, the first U.S. school incident was 1747, yet here we are still talking about it.
Chief Rick Francis with the Seminole County Sheriff's Office is one of the many speakers at the National Student Safety and Security Conference.
What's it like for you to be able to be a part of this and to meet with the stakeholders that are all concerned and working toward keeping students safe?
The biggest thing for me is to be able to provide some person or persons some takeaways that they can take back. Some of it's low cost, no cost initiatives that they can take back to their school district and immediately, deploy and have a real effect.
They'll focus on dating violence, gang activity, vandalism, and bullying. Keynote speaker Dr. Steven Sorka tells me they have a comprehensive approach.
The most important thing for school safety, and you very seldom hear this at conferences, is relationships. Relationships, trusted relationships are so important because they are what make schools safe and help kids learn.
They focus on the 4 C's: communication, collaboration, cultural sensitivity, and caring, with a community-driven approach at the forefront.
I'm convinced if a kid feels part of that fabric of that school, it's very less likely they're going to cause a mass casualty event.
The conference will also feature special workshops focused on teen suicide prevention, substance abuse, and reckless driving. Reporting in Kissimmee, Stephanie Rodriguez, News 6.
Okay, time now for a look at our forecast. We always look forward to the weekend.
Always.
But are you looking forward to it for a different reason this weekend?
Give me a rainy weekend so I can just lay on my couch.
That's the thing. It's less yard work you have to do if you haven't tended to the lawn.
Yeah. My lawn's not growing anyway.
There's nothing to tend to anymore.
Tend to my dirt.
Yeah. Well, after next week, the buzzing of the lawnmowers might be a common sound as we really get the rain chances to ramp up as we get to the weekend. Right now, we're dry. We're going to be dry through the end of this work week. And then really by the end of Friday and then especially into the weekend, that's when the rain chances really bump up. Titusville, good evening. We are at 81, 86 in Leesburg. Groveland, we're at 85. Bushnell, we are checking in at 87 degrees, hour by hour forecast for the evening. It's gorgeous out there. 77 by 9, right around 70 by 11, back to the upper 60s early in the morning. Look at this. Those cold fronts, their days are beginning to become numbered, but this is the temperature outlook for the first week of May through the 10th. You see the blue, probabilities of some cooler than normal air coming down the pipeline. We have the reason for that, and we'll talk about some of the cooler air. It's not maybe window opening refreshing, but it's at least not 95 degrees. We'll pinpoint that for you at about 6:47, guys.
We'll take what we can get, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Well, as the demand for healthcare services increases, so does the shortage of nurses. Advent Health is working to fill that shortage through recruitment, incentives, training, and support.
News 6 anchor Bridget Ellison shows us how their simulation and training center in DeLand is getting results for local nurses and your help.
Hi. How are you all?
I'm fine. She's in a lot of pain right now.
Hi, dear. What's going on? Where's your pain at?
This is a simulated bedside nurse visit.
Is this side more comfortable for you? Have you tried going to the other side?
One of several these nurses will witness in this session at the Advent Health Center for Simulation and Education in DeLand.
So what you're seeing today is essentially nurses practicing and fine-tuning their skills in a safe environment. So whenever they're put in that environment, they're competent. They're confident, and they know who to reach out to for help. You need me to page out for Dr. Edwards?
Yes, that'd be great. Well, we're waiting. I'm waiting on the call back from your surgeon.
After the simulation, the nurses talk about protocols followed, what worked, and what could be improved.
So for my 2 in the room, go ahead and tell me how that felt.
You did a really good job keeping the patient in the loop, though. Like every time you came back from a phone call, you were communicating with the patient.
Even though I've been a respiratory therapist for a long time, being a bedside nurse is a little bit different because you have more one-on-one interaction with the patient.
Andrew Bowman is a new ICU nurse for Advent Health. He helps fill a great shortage. Nurse.org estimates that Florida will only have 88% of the more than 26,000 nurses needed by the year 2030.
We have to be in our best game because with these shortages, we have to take on more responsibility. So that's why things like this are very beneficial because it puts you in situations that are not uncommon to what you're going to see in regular practice.
And it's not just these actors who help them go through these simulations, but you have these different types of mannequins that are high quality.
Yeah, we have high quality mannequins where the learners can assess for pulses, they can listen to heart tones, they can listen to breath sounds. When we talk about high fidelity, the higher the fidelity, the more realistic it is. So notice over here.
Breathing.
Yep. Notice right here, you see chest rise.
Yeah.
Today's resources are helping Advent Health attract more nurses and prepare them for anything.
You hear about it and you read it in a textbook, but till you can actually see it live, you don't know what you're in for.
According to surveys from the Florida Hospital Association, efforts like these to fill the shortage and retain workers are working. Nurse turnover rates have dropped 45% since 2022, and the vacancy rate improved by more than 60%. Bridget Ellison, News 6.
If you've ever needed a nurse, a good nurse is so important. It's critical
Yeah.
to your care in the hospital.
They're the person who's with you
all
for
the
almost
time.
every.
And
Doctor
hearing all-
checks in, but
Yeah.
the nurse.
They
really
hear
need
all
that.
your whining and everything.
Especially in your case. Well, it's the worst 3 letters for any sports fan, or really athlete. ACL. It's one of the main ligaments that help stabilize your knee, and all too often athletes injure them, and in some cases can take years to recover. It's not just your star athletes who are impacted either. In a 2023 study, the National Institutes of Health found there are 400,000 ACL reconstructions every year. Traditional surgeries can be painful. They have a relatively high failure rate. Many athletes don't return to the same level as before the injury, but a new procedure is hoping to change that. The Bridge Enhanced ACL Restoration, or BEAR procedure, repairs the ligament, and a collagen implant that's mixed with the patient's blood is inserted into the knee to help it heal. The surgery was FDA approved in 2020 for people 14 and older, but now it's available to kids as young as 7, who doctors say are increasingly injuring their ACLs.
We have these really cool new anchors that are not made out of metal, so literally we don't have to touch the growth plates. In the past, if you injured a growth plate, the leg could actually grow wrong.
Doctors say the hope is one day to use this technique for other injuries like rotator cuff tears and Achilles tendon ruptures. I've had that and an ACL
I'm not
tear.
gonna lie, I stopped listening to you because I can't. My knee injury, it starts hurting when anyone starts talking
right
about
now.
a knee. Yeah, exactly. All right, let's take a look at what's trending right now on Central Florida's #1 news website, clickorlando.com. The effort to bring a Major League Baseball team to Orlando taking a significant step forward this week with the announcement of the project's main investor, Dr. Rick Workman, a successful dentist and entrepreneur. The group is also looking for a proposed stadium that would cost an estimated $1 billion and be built near Aquatica Water Park. So far, the group has already raised $1.5 billion.
Here are some other trending stories right now over at clickorlando.com, or the Click, as the cool kids call it.
Nobody
calls it that. I just made that up. City of Atlanta, Atlantic Beach. That's in Duval County. How do you say it?
Duval!
Yeah, don't say Duval like that new Jacksonville guy. The investigating multiple reports of coyote attacks there. According to the city, there were reports of a coyote biting a person on Tuesday, getting a second person this morning. The coyote or coyotes remain at large, and the incidents have been reported to FWC.
Well, picking a hairstyle that works for you can be tough, Matt, but according to a new report from Hims, because I think you have the style that's in fashion right now. According to a new report from Hims, the fade is the most popular men's haircut this year, followed by the buzz cut and classic boy cut. You would describe yours as a fade, right? Like
I guess.
tight on the sides and high up top. Okay,
sure.
The study also says the fade is the most popular cut here in Florida. I would have thought the mullet.
I was thinking that too. I just asked
race.
my hair person, I was there yesterday, and I was like, you cutting a lot of mullets? And she's like, yes, I am. A lot of mullets.
But probably more of what you have, the fade.
I think I should be the mullet news guy. It could be a thing.
It won't be. Still ahead, much more coming up. Hopefully you aren't too hungry.
I'm not sure I'd be a mullet married guy if I did that. Hey, on this week's I4 Food Tour, I head to the White Wolf Cafe. I got to try out some of their best, and I'll tell you what you can expect if you plan to give them a visit for dinner. They're mostly known for breakfast and stuff. Jonathan.
I want to see Matt in the mullet. That would be awesome. Temperatures back to the upper 70s along the coast. Middle 80s closer at I-75. A little warmer tomorrow, but the big deal, rain chances going way up for the weekend. We'll pinpoint that at about 6:47.
Mullet Matt challenge accepted. And as we head to the Orlando Ballet, where the dancers are busy preparing to close out their season on a classic. You're watching News 6 at 6:30 live on News 6 Plus. We'll be right back.
Brought to you by your local Toyota dealers. Toyota, let's go places.
Your Wednesday evening traffic alert. Normally I give you lane closures. Today I'm giving you complete shutdown. So southbound 417, Lee Vista, just north of 528, you are going to see a complete closure of 417. Make sure you're paying attention. They will detour you back out there. Also a major closure westbound I-4 from about 9 o'clock tonight till about 6-ish in the morning. Your westbound lanes are going to be completely shut down, meaning all traveling on the main line are going to be pushed off on Kirkman. This is part of the expansion project out there. Follow the detour. They're going to get you back on. I'm Trevor Steve with the News 6 traffic alert. Drive safely. I'll catch you in the morning.
Oh, mama. That thing looks good.
We're in our RV from Giant Recreation World, and today we're headed to an antique store that became a restaurant.
Okay, if I'm gonna try one thing at the White Wolf Cafe, what does it have to be?
The pork tenderloins, for sure.
I have never had a pork pinwheel before. I'm interested. It's like a meat cornucopia in this thing. Does somebody get this whole thing? Let's break some rules today. Let's throw some green in there. That's a lot of meat, man. Look at all that butter. My word. Yes, sir. Can you smell that? So here I am at the White Wolf Cafe, basking in the glow of a stained glass window, about to eat a pinwheel. A little risotto. Good God, that is nice. Wow, this pork is super tender. All the little goodies in there. That's a lot of goodness in one bite. Wow, that is fantastic. You gotta get a close up of me smearing this risotto on there. Look at that, it's like butter and a little biscuit. Oh yeah. So good. The White Wolf Cafe. It has the food, it has the ambiance, and now it has a brand new customer. This is the I-4 Food Tour.
Sponsored by Giant Recreation World. Visit Giant Recreation World today.
How do you not weigh 5,000 pounds?
Well, you got to have a lot of discipline.
It's like a drug dealer. You can't get into your stash.
Okay.
What?
Your analogies sometimes.
No, that thing was delicious.
It seemed like it. You seemed to enjoy it.
I did. I enjoyed it. I think you were telling me the guy who we set that up with before, who owned it, he just sold it, so there's new ownership.
Yeah, there's
people who own Shakers.
Shakers. It's another popular spot, which I'm surprised you haven't. Have you been there yet?
Oh, I've been to Shakers. Yeah.
No, have you done the food tour there?
No, not yet. That's a good idea, though.
You should.
Yeah, we should.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And then
we'll
take us along because I recommended it. All right, so let's take
you can't be
you
cutting
outside
into
right now. Here's a live look over Daytona Beach. There's food involved. I'm going to invite myself.
I know, yeah.
Okay.
I should bring you.
It's beautiful out there.
Gorgeous day. Meteorologist Jonathan Kegas joins us now. We've got another warm one. We've gotten a little rain in the past couple of days, which is nice.
Some of us.
And we're looking ahead to even more.
It's about time. I mean, it's gonna sound. I just can't wait. I can imagine the smell and the sound. A lot of us have been. I mean,
are we talking about the food again or the rain?
No, this is gonna be.
It sounds like a long lost girlfriend or boyfriend.
I can just imagine it nuzzling up to my ear.
Okay.
Let's do the weather, Jonathan.
Let's do it. Well, you can curl up with a good book and listen to that rain hit the tin roof if you have one. It's great. 80 degrees in Oviedo. We're at Leesburg, 86 degrees. Wildwood, we're checking in at 86 as well. Now, tomorrow, we're going to start things off nice and comfortable. Low to mid-60s. That's right where we should be for this time of the year. Rain chances, they're still at 0%, not only for tomorrow, but for the afternoon and through the end of the work week. For that, here's a look at your Pinpoint Accurate forecast.
Your forecast is sponsored by the Florida Lottery.
Temperatures get back to the mid to upper 80s, I-4 and east, and then pushing 90 the further away you are from the Atlantic Ocean. We're going to keep the breeze out of the east again tomorrow. That's going to keep us relatively cooler along the coast, but you see us nice and toasty in Bushnell. We're at 90 degrees in Ocala tomorrow afternoon. It's going to likely add to these numbers that we continue to track. In terms of our drought, this is the Keach Byram Drought Index. We show this almost nightly as we've gotten ourselves into a pretty significant drought situation. The change in the little box here, and we have now gone back to the positive thing, which is a negative overall, adding 6 points to the KBDI through the course. Again, the higher the numbers, the more easily the fires can get started, the drier the ground. We're back to 499 after shaving off 45 points from Sunday into Monday into early Tuesday. We're going to hopefully take a bite out of that situation as we get into the weekend and early next week. There's our big chunk of high pressure. That's keeping our wind, by the way, off of the Atlantic and out of the east. You have clockwise flow around these big areas of high pressure that helps to keep the wind off of the Atlantic. That'll also keep the rip current risk on the higher side. Back to the west, we have a cold front coming through. Now that front doesn't make it through central Florida, but it does act as a pathway to send that moisture, the higher moisture content here. Again, greens and yellows represent the higher moisture surging through for the afternoon thunderstorms that are going to develop with the heating of the day to take advantage of, and that's going to lead to this, likely the most widespread rain we have seen in quite some time. Now, for us along I-75, we did get a decent amount of rain, part of us on Sunday and then especially on Monday. Largely, though, left out on the eastern half of central Florida. We're going to try to get in on that. Now, beyond that, the pattern is going to change big time. Omega block. You see this upper low here. That's a nice little U. Then we have the upside down U. That's the Greek letter omega. That's why we call it the omega blocking pattern. It kind of jumps everything, and it kind of just keeps the weather pattern pretty stagnant. But we're going to be under the upper low, which will keep us a little unsettled as we move forward into the weekend and beyond. 89 on Saturday, rain chances at 40%. Look at that, 50% Sunday and Monday. We're going to keep rain chances elevated getting into Tuesday.
Like it. All right, thank you, Jonathan. You know, a lot of people are excited to see the Kentucky Derby this weekend, but did you know several of those horses have ties to Marion County, also known as the horse capital of the world?
That's usually the case. News 6 reporter Jarrell Baker spoke with a couple who trained one of those horses who will be participating in the iconic race.
American Promise will be hitting the track this Saturday at the Kentucky Derby.
That's what our business is to start these young horses and help them find their way, get a good foundation in their early days.
The thoroughbred got his start training right here in Ocala at Woodside Ranch.
They have to get confidence with a rider being on. They have to get confidence with other horses and different training exercises that you do to prepare them, along with trying to get their bodies fit. You're working on them mentally as much as you are physically.
The owners and the trainers at the ranch, Brian and Holly Rice, have been training horses for over 30 years. They've also trained several horses for the Kentucky Derby, including 2 last year.
Did you think that this place, when you first built it, this would kind of be the starting ground for a lot of those Kentucky Derby horses that we see?
You always hope.
That's right.
9 of the horses in the Kentucky Derby have ties to Marion County, including a horse known as Journalism, which is partially owned by Brittlewood Farms.
Speaks volumes. That's what Ocala and Marion County is about. We are the training, the starting, the early prep center for a great percentage of the thoroughbreds that go off to the races, and particularly the horses that participate in the major races.
Mm-hmm. The Rice family hopes that they can keep their industry strong in the area for years to come. In Ocala, Jarrell Baker, News 6.
Those horses, sight to see. I mean, they are just all muscle.
It's crazy, man.
When you get up on those things, they're just
my goodness,
like rippling.
And if you've ever seen them when the steam is coming off of their bodies, it is magical when that happens.
Yeah, good
all
stuff.
Right, we'll be right back.
I'm News 6 anchor Justin Moorman.
And I'm News 6 anchor Crystal Moyer. Coming up in the morning, property taxes. Should they stay or should they go?
A special committee's been picked to try and figure it all out, what they're set to discuss and why it's voters who will have the final say.
Plus, we've got your weather and traffic every 10 minutes. We'll see you for News 6 Mornings starting at 5.
The Orlando Ballet is closing out its season with one of the oldest classical ballets, but it's very challenging. I'm News 6 anchor and insider guide Crystal Moyer, and I'm showing you how the Orlando Ballet is keeping its dancers on point. The Orlando Ballet is giving us an insider look at rehearsals for their upcoming performance of Giselle. Artistic director Jordan Morris running the program.
It's a beautiful, tragic love story. It has some of the most difficult technical dancing in Act 2. There are sections where there's 21 women all dancing in unison, where every single person is on the same leg, on the same count.
The precision, the clarity of the movement, there's a lot of jumping. There's some incredible partnering going on. Some of the men are holding, the lead role, Albrecht, he has to hold Giselle above his head.
It's one of the most complex and demanding ballets, but you wouldn't know it. Dancers like Cameron Bailey make it look easy.
As dancers, we are pushing our bodies almost past their limitations sometimes.
Orlando Health gives dancers like Cameron peace of mind, not just treating injuries, but offering proactive health care, keeping them strong, healthy, and on their toes.
They can provide massages, provide soft tissue work, provide dry needling, a number of ways that they can just help reduce inflammation, help with muscle soreness.
They have a volunteer team that contributes to helping our dancers on a daily basis.
There's even a physician on site at the theater during performances to quickly respond to any injuries. As the season comes to a close, the Orlando Ballet is looking forward to its Giselle performances with some new choreography and set pieces, as well as live music performed by the Orlando Philharmonic Orchestra. The Orlando Ballet presents Giselle at the Dr. Phillips Center for Performing Arts May 1st through the 4th. I posted all the ticket information on clickorlando.com/insider. And while you're there, you can get a sneak peek at next season's performances. In Orlando, Crystal Moyer, News 6.
Again, those dancers are such athletes.
You ever seen them close up?
Oh
they
they are built.
incredible.
Cut. Yeah. And
just the movement and the athleticism.
And so elegant, too.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You wouldn't know anything about that.
I don't, about elegance?
Thanks for watching News 6 at 6:30. Stream News 6 online anytime on our News 6 Plus Smart TV app.
You're right, I don't know anything about it because I work next to you.
Oh, my family's going to call you again.
I love you, Gadsden's. We break news at clickorlando.com. See you tonight at 11. Chi-Chi, Karen, good night.